what are we fighting for? We've just got to end this war. Hey, we're back into Unit 6. We're finishing the last problem from the C1s. This is A.4. In it, we've got a large crate with a mass of 214 kilograms. And a horizontal force of a positive 196 newtons is applied to it, causing it to accelerate at 100 meters per second, or 0.13 meters per second squared, horizontally. What's the force of friction opposing the motion of the crate? What? Okay, so let's just work this out real quick. So here's a crate. Let's draw a better floor. And it's got a mass of 214. And it's accelerating at 0.13 meters per second squared. Okay, that's not bad. So a horizontal force is pushing it at 196 newtons. So, okay, let's just write this out real quick. If we were to set up F equals ma, the sum of the forces equals ma. Let's draw a better summation. That's a garbage summation. The sum of the forces equals ma. That'd be like 196 equals 214 times 0.13. And what's 214 times 0.13? 214 times 0.13 is 27.82. We're saying 196 equals 27.82. What? Oh. What's the force of friction opposing the motion of the crate? So while there's a force pushing this to the right, some amount of friction, we'll write a little f for friction, is acting to the left. Now we haven't talked about friction in this unit yet, but it is just a force. Okay, it's some amount of force acting against your motion. So if it's acting against our motion and we call the positive direction to the right, that means this friction has to be negative. So if we wrote this out, we could say 196 plus negative friction, that has to equal the 27.82. And now all we need to do is solve for the friction here, okay? Many ways you can solve for it, whatever really floats your boat. I'm just going to subtract from each side the 196. What this is going to do is say the negative friction is going to equal 27 minus the 196. So we get negative 168 point a little bit newtons over here. And what we quickly see is that the negatives cancel. So we know that the force of friction that we have in the end is just 168 newtons. It's acting to the left and opposing our block. Okay, so even if we don't know what friction is, it's just a force acting in opposition to the motion of something. Normally it's caused by a rough surface, but we'll talk about that later on. And that's just what this problem's doing. If you're ever going through a problem and you get something where it's like 196 equals 27.82, well, one, what are you even solving for there? Nothing. You're just saying a number equals another number. And it clearly doesn't. So you're missing something in that equation. In this case, we were missing friction. We included it in there, and we could actually solve for something. Okay? So just keep that in mind as you're going through problems. Every once in a while, students have problems with that. They run into a little trouble. They're not actually solving for something. They're just putting numbers down. So be careful as you're going through that. You're setting up your F equals MAs, and you're getting your answers. Okay? So with that, this problem is finished. As we continue on, we'll be looking at some more complicated problems. Instead of just going left and right, we're going to start going up and down. We're going to start looking at your weight due to gravity. We're going to start looking at objects that are kind of moving up and down and left and right together, or up and down together, and friction and springs, and it gets wild. But until next time, when we see all that, adios and take it easy.